Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. With 4 race starts, we're going to start with our Category 4 riders, then 3, 2 and 1. Our riders lined up in yellow, that is our Category 1 riders. In green, our Category 2. In blue, Category 3. And Category 4 in red.
Did she not do this last week as well and come out of the start pen and just go for it?
Which is not a bad thing. It's a tactic.
It's definitely a tactic. Look at that, just hovering over the back. I'm in white with my rainbow bands. Great job, absolutely love it. They're going into the foothills of the climb now, and this is a big group as well. Question is the damage going to be done to this group like we're seeing in Category 4? Guerra now picking up the mantle on the front of the pack. She's up and out of the saddle on the screen. She's got McCarthy on her wheel. Bruni there as well. These 3 working really well now. Category 3 riders in between, because the riders just continuing to climb up here. In fact, I think the leaders in the Category 2 race are not that far up the road. The riders and racers now all coming in to the Alfaqua Hills, and the groups on the road really interesting.
Now, Category 3 leading on the road: Daniels, Altamirano, Hadlock, Piccolo, De Silva and Bonilla, all on the way over these bridges. These are the rolling hills. You can see the sawtooth profile behind them. This will be her best result to date in the Sunday Race Club. Time to kick for the line. Time to get those arms in the air. Gemma Daniels, your winner of the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club qualifier race number 4. So hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. It's our monthly final for December in 2024. Our penultimate show. Oh my goodness, can't believe where the time has gone. My name's Mark Payne. I'm down here in the studio with Emma Martin, who is fresh, or maybe a little fatigued after that amazing echelon race yesterday afternoon. I had the pleasure of listening to a great show. Make sure you go back and have a watch back and watch the action. Some of our riders racing today were racing then. Emma, it was a blinding show, some great racing. A very different course to today, though. It's almost a polar opposite.
Well, this is the Sunday Race Club. What would you expect for the December final but the Yerbal Hafit? And that's where we're heading. 35 kilometers of racing in Arabia, 905. Yes, 905 meters of climbing today for the women. And we head out of the start pen through the 3 sprints before at 9.5 kilometers. We get to the aquarium climb. It's 3.5 kilometers in length, just an average grade of 2.9%. It will split the pack. We drop down the other side through the Silent Dune sprint, through the Al Ain sprint, and at 25.4 kilometers into the race, we hit the Yerbal Hafit at 9.5 kilometers of climbing, 7% average grade. It's categorized as a Category 1 climb. And well, 500 meters from the polka dot banner at the top of the Yerbal Hafit climb segment is the checkered flag and the finale of the 2024 Sunday Race Club.
And those of you who have been watching and listening to Inside the Ride, who were watching the show last week, will know there's lots of changes coming for 2025. We'll get into those in a moment. But for now, 4 race starts. Our Category 1 in yellow, Category 2 in green, Category 3 in blue, and in red are our Category 4 riders. The Category 4 riders lined up in teams today. 6 teams, 2 of 5, 4 teams of 4. The pedal dancers, Fielder, Valencia, Reyes, Corrales, and Lopez. The Petit 4 squad, Bremner, Goodall, Warren, and Lloyd. The Phoenix are represented by Kirchner, Navarez, Wilhelm, Sarasuk, and Ferran. The powerful girls team, Sudibayo, along with Salazano, Shalbois, and Maya. The Turbo Tinsel, Vink, Bago, Idzik, and Francis. And the Wildcat squad, Flora, Chantilly, Giraldo, and Zabala. teams of 3 riders as a minimum to count in all of our teams in the men's and women's teams. 6 teams racing, 5 prizes in the team competition, 5 prizes in the men's and women's teams. It's time to go racing in Category 4 on our women's race in qualifier race in our finals. That'll teach me to read the screen.
Qualifier?
It's a final. Here we go. Look, it's the monthly final.
Update. Well, I'll tell you something to update. This team competition in the Category 4, it's going to be a cracker. I've gone through and I've taken a look at who's podiumed this month. There are a lot of riders on form this month in Category 4. So in the pedal dancers, Angie Reyes has had a 4th. Alina Lopez has had a 3rd and a 4th. Anna Alzat has had a 2nd and a 5th. And Diana Corrales has had a 3rd. That's 4 riders who have podiumed in the pedal dancers. In the Petit 4 squad, Johanna Warren's had a 2nd. Hannah Goodall's had a 1st and a 5th. 2 out of the 4 there. Julia Narvaez had a 5th place from the Phoenix squad. And in the Turbo Tinsels, Ella Vink's taken a 1st place. Katie Bago's taken a 5th. And Natalia Idzik has had a 1st and 2 4ths. For me, the pedal dancers versus the Petit Fours versus the Turbo Tinsel squad, those 3 squads should be the ones going up against each other if this month's form is anything to go by.
Well, I ran out of fingers. I think that was 9 different riders have been on the podium in Category 4, in just those riders that you mentioned who are here in the teams.
Well, we've had 4 different winners in 4 different qualifying races in Category 4 this month. Just shows you the strength and depth of the squads. And if I counted the riders who have gone up to Category 3 as well, 14 different riders have taken top 5 spots in Category 4 this month.
Brilliant. So lots of top 5s scattered throughout this race field, and riders moving up through categories as well because of the progression that they've got. Now, we did trail slightly. We're just going to hit this briefly now because it really does affect Category 4. Next week, first week of 2025, we are going to see the introductions of Categories 5 and 6. And if you're watching this live, you'll be watching the start of the racing live earlier next week. You need to be tuning in from around about, it's going to be 10 minutes to 20 minutes earlier in the morning, depending on whether or not you want to actually count down as well.
You say in the morning.
Well, in the morning for us, or in the evening, wherever you are. Yes. Yes, wherever you are, it's about 20 minutes or so earlier.
Have your breakfast on your lap watching the racing, or have your dinner on your knee.
Yeah, whichever way round you want to do it. Get your tray out, get it on your knee. If you're, you could get one of those that sort of sit on top of your knees whilst you're in bed, with like the sides that drop down. And
Ooh,
you have your little
posh.
Yeah, posh. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but the problem is you've got to get up and go and make it unless you've got someone to go and get it for you. Well, if you've got someone to go and get breakfast for you so you can watch the Sunday Race Club in bed, welcome to a fantastic day.
Send them to the Full Speed Event studios.
I'm dreaming. Well, I'll tell you who else is dreaming today, and it's this squad of riders out on the road. Nikki Lloyd just watching the back of the group, but Corrales is there, Flores is there, Ferron, Kirchner, Bremner, they're all in the mix, and the pack all rolling together. Look at that, in with Nikki Lloyd. She is enjoying the finale to her year.
Do you know she's now got an official signature out, so I've heard. There's a rumour going she's now got her official fan signature now that she's featured on the Inside the Ride podcast.
Ooh.
And name-checked on it, no less.
She's been name-checked on it a lot.
I know. Well, she's a bit of a superstar. Now, Jessica Hamilton on the move, another superstar, heading down the road here, off for a run down through the sprints, a kick out. Now, next week, this would be rewarded with money.
Well, I'll tell you something, she's practicing for next week,
yes,
because the sprints come into play next week. And for 2025, you need to head to the MyWhoosh.com website and check out the Sunday Race Club new technical guide, because it is all in there. And Jessica Hamilton, she's earned that green skin suit. And, well, she is definitely using those sprints and practicing all she can for that competition next month.
Well, Lots of practice required because there's lots of riders. Now, category 3, 7 teams, 3 teams of 5 riders, 1 team of 4 riders, and 3 teams of 3 riders. The Cool Smashers represented by Altamirano, Hyde, Ellis, Benilla, and Simkin. Freewheeling Spirits, Kinsella, Daniels, and Disegna. We've got the Gear Goddesses, represented by Geraldo de Gracia, Van Rossum, Tonkinson, and Haibor. The Grind My Gear Squad by De Silva, Hadlock, Kokonen, and Howala. The Rosa Blanca with Taconis, Vasquez, and Barragan. Pedal Power with Zulaga, along with Sonus and Jones, La Triga, and Benilla. And we've got the What's Up squad represented by Marshall, Jazikowicz, and Schultz. They're away, they're on the road, they're hitting the boardwalks, and it is time for Category 3 to show us who will be at the top. That was a whistle-stop tour through the riders there at about 100 miles an hour. Let's have a little bit more detail, though. So, 3 teams of 5, 1 team of 4, 3 teams of 3. 3 riders in either non-qualifying team because they don't have enough riders, i.e. 3, or individuals at the moment. In with one of those, Catherine Montoya at the moment from Colombia, riding as a solo rider, so isn't hindered or helped by the team tactics.
Well, there are indeed her and Kate McLeod, the 2 riders not in teams today. And it's interesting, we've got 31 riders in Category 3 today. And what is interesting is pretty much, if I averaged it out, we've got 30 riders in each of the 4 categories. So 29 Category 4, 31 Category 3, 32 in Category 2, and 29 in Category 1. 7 teams here today. And this team competition in Category 3, it's going to be really, really interesting. We're Imogena Van Rossum at the moment. She's part and parcel of the Gear Goddesses. She's had a 2nd place this month. Gina de Gracia in the Gear Goddesses has come up from Category 4 this month after taking the win in Qualifier 1. But if we want to go back through which teams I think are going to be in the mix, the Cool Smashers, Elos has had a 5th, Altamirano's had a 3rd and a 4th, Simkin's had a 4th, and Bonilla's had a 1st and 2 4ths this month. Simkin coming off the front just to prove what I'm saying. Those Cool Smashers may well be smashing it today, but Grind My Gears, De Silva, Kokonen, Holweiler, and Hadlock. De Silva's had a 1st, a 2nd, and a 5th, and Hadlock's had a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd. They are really going well. And let's not discount La Rosa Blanca Vasquez. 3rd and a 5th this month, and Tucanos has had a 3rd. It's all going to be about where they place their 3rd rider and what that time gap is. But for me, those are the 3 squads in Category 3 we need to keep our eyes on.
And of course, it's going to be really busy with the team competition today and the individual competition overall. So remember, prizes for the top 5 riders in the overall. So when they cross the finishing line, prizes for the top 5 teams when they cross the finishing line. From next year, there are prizes for the sprint segments and the mountain segments as well as an overall prize. Now, the prizes for those are new funds going into the prize pot for the sprints competition and for the climb competition, and new funds for category 5 and 6 as well.
Yes, and really interesting in the roadbook. I've been delving into the roadbook since it came out, and if anybody can cast their mind back to the $1 million competition that wasn't in 2024 but was in 2023, it's very similar to that. And if you weren't around on MyWhoosh then, it's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
So the sprint competition, points will be available for each sprint. They are the same points for every sprint, and it's the accumulation of those points that will count for the overall sprint competition. In the climbs, however, the higher the category of the climb, the more points are available. So that is going to be a cracker, and more information on that next time.
So going to be very interesting to see how riders like Gina Van Rossum, a rider who we know is more than capable of taking away the overall win, then approaches the potential of taking prize money, taking away points in the sprints competition.
Well, and Zisenia is showing us exactly what it means in a sprint competition. 12 watts per kilo, the Italian rider has just kicked out going through that sprint. She's very quickly come off the pace, and the pack will be catching her. But I think it's going to be so interesting because, just to confirm, it's going to be fastest through the sprint. It's going to be all about the times, and it's also going to be fastest up the climb as well.
And Desegna on fire at the moment. Took the win in the category C echelon community women's race yesterday.
Yeah, she did.
So absolutely on fire. Now let's move from one category which is absolutely flying to another one which we expect to go equally as quick, if not quicker. It's category 2, the next step up that rung on the ladder towards elite category 1. Lots of teams. All our teams of 5 riders, 6 teams today. Beast Mode powered by Rose, Wagner, Daniels, Zimmerman, Martinez, and Mob. The Christmas team, love the name. Now, both Elsets, that's Andrea and Carolina. We've got Beltram, we've got Hill and Sanchez in there. The E Crew, Paulson, Davison, Gonzalez, Ruhr, Walkenhurst, Dega Mashandi. The Globetrotters with Jaramilla, Giannatti, Prado, Vittori, and Giovanni. The Profita rolling squad from Bulauer.
I love it.
Hag Nyquist, Esler, and
Oh, I could go some Profita rolls.
Don't talk to me about food. Velocity Vikings, Emmerich, Swarstrong, Alberg, Montgomery, and London. Sophie Giovanni leading us out from the start for the Globetrotters squad. They're going to be trotting the way round, dodging the raiding Velocity Vikings, eating Profita rolling, heading for the Christmas team, beast moding the way across the season, hopefully making the way in time to E-Crew their way into the finals. That's all the team names in one sentence, just about, very tenuously.
Well, take a look at the size of the squad rolling. 32 riders on the start sheets in category 2, and it's a who's who. Camilla Olberg, you're talking about Echelon Racing. She's also been riding the Echelon Racing League and has indeed taken a win as well. So Maria Marb, Serena Vittori, Dana Davidson, Philippa Hill, Anna Svardström, Amanda Paulson is in here as well. And in this team's competition, can anybody beat the Globetrotters? They took the win last month, but Giovanni's had 3 third places. Giannatti's had a 4th. Prado's had a 2nd. And Vittori's had a 2nd and a 5th. They are on form. The E-Crew squad, Paulson's had a 2nd. Gonzalez Ruiz had a 2nd and 2 5ths. And I'll tell you something, she won the Echelon Racing League yesterday in category B women. Oh, she's been absolutely flying. Giovanni is on the screen at the moment. The Beast Mode powered by Rose squad, Wagner has had a 1st and a 4th, and Maria Marb's had 2 4ths. Jenny Daniels is in there. Linda Sarmiento Martinez is in there. Johanna Zimmerman. You cannot discount those riders as well. And of course, the Velocity Vikings, Sparstrom's had a podium this month as well. So if we go on podiums and form, this could be a good team competition in category 2 as well.
It's so close, and that's one of the reasons for the introduction of the extra categories, of course, is because there's so many riders packed in to the racing, and it is such tight, great racing between all of our race categories in categories 4, 3, 2, and 1. We would love to see you on the start line in whichever category you slot into, and if you think, oh, it's maybe a bit too quick for me, don't worry. The aim of the categories is not just to give more competition and to make the competition closer between each of the race categories, but it's also to give more spread to the abilities of riders who can race and to allow more people that introduction into the racing with a lower category 6 than our current category 4. So hopefully we're going to see lots more riders on that start line.
Well, I can confirm from my chats with the riders that whether you are category 4 or category 1, the riders tell me the Sunday Race Club is great fun. It's a fabulous community, and you get fitter by racing it.
Yes, I mean that comes across from everybody, doesn't it? That's the one. If you could have one unifying thread across all the conversations we have from everybody, is that this will make you fitter and faster racing on the Sunday Race Club. Now, Linda Sarmiento Martinez, they're on the bike, just keep him focused. Got her eyes on the screen at the moment, just making sure she stays in this bunch, keeping those watts in green in the draft as they come in towards this sprint. And it's at the moment, it looks like pretty much most of category 2 rolling through, not expending too much energy on this run through the sprint line.
Well, category 2, no,
not too much.
It's just a slight squeeze on the front. Hannah Giannatti, Elsa Haag is there. I've seen Emily Nyquist in here as well. Eva Estler, Elsa Haag is in here too. Fabulous to see all these riders, at the moment. Lorena Beltran is here, she's one to watch. Now, interestingly, the Jebel Hafit, the course we're on for the finale in December, it's the 3rd time this year that the women have been on the Jebel Hafit for a final. We'll talk about which ones later.
Okay, excellent. Can't wait. Well, better wait because we've got Category 1 lined up, ready to
Yep.
go. Our top
Let's get
of
him out the pen.
top of the tree category, Category 1 are lined up and ready to go. Now, we have 7 teams in here, 4 teams of 5, 3 teams of 3. So, teams of 5, Ablock International, Hermansen, Holcroft, McCarthy, Soderstrom and Larson. The Feto Skier with Van Hove, Tomasi, Kalman and Kokolowitz. Also with 5 riders are the Purebed Daisies with Valensky, Dayahoven, Eck, Stevens and Penner. And the Thundercats with Guerra, Menendez, Kolchinsky, Bjarhead and Colombi. The teams with 3, well, we have the Festive Fighters with Nordin, Koistonen and Rona. We have Fully Calibrated with Engstrom, Van Short and Sidlick. And we have the Sweat Sensations with Velt, Fua and Bruni. But do not let the numbers fool you. Just because it's a team of 3 doesn't mean they can't beat a team of 5. Time to go racing. The very last race start in our women's race for 2024. Time to go racing on the Jebel Hafi in Arabia on MyWhoosh for the monthly final, 35 kilometers, 905 meters of ascent. This is going to be a tough, exciting, and hopefully a fitting finale. There we are. I can just about say the fitting finale.
Well,
a few
I'll
more
tell you
coffees
something.
required.
What is fitting is the fact that we're in with Merle Bruni as we come out the start pen, because Bruni, well, for me, we were talking about the fact that very briefly that this is the 3rd time this year in a final we've been on the Jebel Hafi, and Bruni for me is the dark horse here because on the May final, Kolchinsky took the win in 1 hour and 9 minutes from Merle Bruni. Catherine Fua, Amelia Velt and Stephanie Sidlick. In October, the final was on the Jebel Hafi and McCarthy took it in 1 hour, 10 minutes from Merle Bruni.
Ooh, going to be interesting.
Merle Bruni, my spies tell me, well, I don't know whether she likes the course or not, but her legs definitely do, I'll tell you that. Well, let's just take a quick look and a quick run through, shall we? Because Gabby Nordin, congratulations for coming back into Category 1 after some time out in Category 2. She's had 2 firsts and a 3rd place in Cat 2 this month. Just want to give her a special mention because she has been racing really well and coming up into Category 1 for the final this month. Oh,
in good company.
Happy finish to 2024. Now, Ablock International, Kate McCarthy in the World Championships jersey, 4 wins. She has been absolutely dominant this month in Category 1. However close Gabby Guerra has pushed her, because she's had 2 seconds and a 3rd. Catherine Fua has also had 2 seconds and a 4th. Those 2 are on fire. And I really think it's going to be a battle royale. Can anybody touch McCarthy on this climb and this course today? It's going to be really, really interesting. Merle Bruni's had 3 thirds and a 5th. She is consistent this month as well. Menezes has had 2 fourths. Kolchinsky's had 2 fifths. Colombi's had a 5th. For me, this is going to be, can anybody touch the Thundercats?
We will have to see one of our Thundercats in Gabby Guerra on your screens at the moment, spinning those legs around, just making sure that she stays in that group. Doesn't expend too much energy too early. Really, really critical to expend your energy wisely when you're up against the world champion. Has Guerra got the key to unlock victory here today on the Jebel Hafi? Does she? I'm sure she knows what she needs to do. It's go over the line in front of McCarthy. But the tactics, how you play those tactics, it will be interesting to see. Mary Kate McCarthy resplendent in the World Champions jersey. The white jersey with those rainbow bands. Just moving to the side there for us. Thank you very much, Kate, there. Just taking a look down the side of the budge here in those rainbow bands. Tucks back into the draft and keeps out of the wind. Really key for our riders to make sure that they keep those watts in green on the top of your screens. If you are new to the show, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the Sunday Race Club. It is our finals. At the end of every month, we have our finals. Riders have to do 2 qualifying rides to jump in to the into the racing in our finals. And if they've done that, then they can then join the Sunday Race Club finals, where the team competition comes into play. Prizes individually all the way through the qualifiers, but those team prizes only kick in on the last Sunday in the month. And yes, if there are 5 Sundays, it means we get an extra qualifying round.
Well, Rona on the front of this with Tiffany Penner. Penner rode really well yesterday on the Echelon Racing League. Phenomenal racing. Amelia Velt in here. Stephanie Sidlick. Joanna Kalman is in the mix right at the front of the pack as well. Nellie Larson is in the mix. They are coming through the Aldar HQ sprint. I'll get the words out of my mouth in a minute. The Aldar HQ sprint. Jessica Hamilton, who we saw put in that phenomenal sprint effort in Category 4, takes the fastest time through the sprint overall, 26.349 seconds. Category 3 with Desenia and De Gracia currently sat in second and third place. Megan Stevens leading the Category 1 pack through. Slots into fourth then Penna, Felensky, Bassoni, Koinstonen, Rona and Nordin rounding out the top 10. The fastest Category 2 rider, Andrea Elza in 36th. The Category 2 pack rolling through. In fact, most of the packs rolling through at the pace they came out of the pen at. Just 1 or 2 riders pushing on those pedals, giving it a little squeeze at the front and just picking up some faster times.
So Hamilton, Desegna, along with Elza and Stevens, the riders in the 4 categories who will be taking points come to 2025.
Yeah, so Hamilton, Desenia and De Grazia, those 3 riders, they were my 3 sprinters.
They did a great sprint there, and I mean they're all riders who we would expect to go for a sprint to squeeze on the way through. De Gracia, great sprinter, and has been turning that sprint skills to climbing skills as well. She'll need that when she approaches the aquarium climb, but that is where Kate McLeod already is hitting.
She's put a little push on before the front and giving herself 3 seconds. Kate McLeod pushing on the front of the Category 3 pack, going into the aquarium climb, the first of the 2 climbs on the course today. This is 3.5 kilometers long, an average gradient of 2.9%. It's not particularly steep. There are steeper sections. You can see on the top right hand corner graphic of your screen the profile of the climb coming. McLeod, Montoya, Vasquez, Hadlock, Bonilla. They are all lining up behind Kate McLeod.
And this climb for Category 3, the course record on here, 3 minutes 48. 3:48. 3 minutes 48 seconds. Now, to give you an indication of times, Category 4's course record on here is 4 minutes 19. So potentially, Category 3 can take 20 seconds out of Category 4 on this climb section alone. Remembering, of course, the Category 4 set off 5 minutes in front. One rider who will be looking to do that is Angel Ann Hadlock. Angel, one of our regular riders on screen, got the casquette on as well. She's been taking that bike out.
I had to
regularly.
Send her a message this week because new bike is absolutely beautiful.
I saw that she'd been out and riding the bike in the background. We shouldn't take away the focus from what is an amazing athlete and an amazing rider in Angel Hadlock and just focus on the bike, but it is very, very good and really good to see her getting out and getting the kilometres in around Hadariat Island. An amazing venue to go ride your bike in the UAE. If you haven't been, put it on your bucket list along with the Jebel Hafit, although they are somewhat different.
They are somewhat different, but Kate McLeod now, Hadlock pulling the pack back to her wheel. Hadlock doing a sterling job at the moment. Heiborg, Hyde, Takarnas, all in the mix, and they're all towards the front of the pack. The stretch now coming on that Category 3 pack. One rider just distanced around 2 kilometres further up the aquarium climb is the Category 4 race field on the right-hand side of your screen. That's Corrales, Warren and Wilhelm. Idzik is there, so is Alza and Francis. Lopez, I think, is there as well. It's looking like we've got a really strong front group starting to form as riders drop off the back of that Category 4 pack.
And this climb, the aquarium climb, where all of our riders test their climbing legs for the first time, it's the first selection point. This is really, really key. This is where the picture starts to be painted. We sketch the outline of what we're going to see in that finale. Are we going to see big groups? Are we going to see 1s and 2s? Are we going to see solo breakaways? That aquarium climb, the first time to test the legs, 3.5 kilometers kilometers long, 94 meters of ascent. And remember, when we drop off that, we drop down, and then there is a climb up to the silent and through the Silent Dune Sprint. Now, this in some of our races is a climb in its own right. That's the Leeward Desert climb. It's a tough little climb as you go up out through that Silent Dune Sprint. Now, it is a segment in some of our race routes. It's not today because of the scale of the mountain on the end of it. You'd hardly notice
because
it,
we don't want you to think about the blip you've got to go up. Well, talking about blips, there's no blip here for the Dubai Mall Sprint because Valentina Desenia in category 3 sets the fastest time. This time they've switched it around because Jessica Hamilton from category 4 is in second place. So Desenia 28 seconds, 0.848, 0.9 of a second faster than Hamilton. Jenny Eck from category 1 leads the category 1 pack through, but Angie Bonilla drops into 4th place from category 3. Engstrom, Van Shaw, Bjarhed, Stevens, Filensky and Koinstinen round out the top 10 that time. And I'm going to do exactly the same and take a little look down the pack to see where category 2 are. Yep, Giovanni goes through in 37th. That category 2 pack for me, keeping the powder dry, rolling through together.
Now, the category 4 riders approaching the top of the aquarium climb as those categories racing through the sprints at the bottom. Well, you can see as they come over the top, that fastest time at Jersey up. They're going to Ella Vink at the moment. She takes the maximum points on this climb and is rewarded with the polka dot skin suit as the fastest rider up. And at the moment, 10 riders in that leading group going through together. They are the lead group. They're on your screens at the moment. This is going to be really interesting.
It is. So Ella Vink, Maria Wilhelm, Isabel Alzat, Natalia Izik, Dominique Charlebois, Simone Francis, Diana Corrales, Johanna Warren, Elena Lopez, Hannah Goodall. Those top 10. Bridget Bremner is in the mix. Where else are we? Sandra Ferron is there, and so is Nikki Lloyd. They're not that far behind.
Just going to dive on a complete tangent here. Christmas tree alert. Merry Christmas to everybody. If you celebrate Christmas, if that's one of your festivals, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. We have a Christmas tree in the background, complete with baubles, tinsel, and everything else. Well, I like people celebrating things. I don't care what they celebrate. I love the fact people are happy. That's kind of it's one of the great things, I think, about the cameras. We get to see into people's lives, including their celebrations, whatever that is, wherever you are out and around the world. So, Merry Christmas, Isabel Alzate.
Well, Alzat, part and parcel of this leading group of 10. The 3 chase riders are at 16 seconds. So really interesting to see the gap now established on the aquarium climb from the leading group here in category 4. They are about to come to the base of the descent on the other side. There's a small kicker as they come out and into the Silent Dune Sprint.
So this is a step climb coming up for them. This is my absolute nemesis climb when I ride on here, and I'm not alone in this. It did get a mention on the Inside the Ride podcast. Latest episode is out with Matt and Si on Inside the Ride, and you can get that if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, let's dive back in with our racing.
Well, category 2 also now on the aquarium climb, and you can see the damage being done on the back of that pack because we've lost a rider already. We're at 10.2 kilometers, so 700 meters into the climb, and it's looking like the pack on the front is about to lose another rider, but at the front it is Prado, Montgomery, Haag, Daniel. They are mixing it up. Hill is there, Marb is there, Bulwara, Paulson, Beltran, Vittori. These are names we talked about earlier on who have all been on the podium this month. Linda Sarmiento is in the mix as well. And you can just see a push on the back of the group, desperately trying to stay on. This is a steeper section. It's about to level off slightly. The profile that the riders are on at the moment, you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen. The riders in the pack we are looking at are the yellow line, which gives you an indication of exactly where they are. We said the gradient was coming off. It's just sub 2%.
It's not going to be off for long.
Look at that!
Sparkly lights on the bike, absolutely brilliant. Joanna Kalman lit up and shining away up through into the sprint. Category 4 over the top of the climb. Category 3 approaching the very top, if not over the top of the climb in short order. In fact, they've just hit the top of the climb. The chasers behind, well, all the categories setting up behind Joanna Kalman. That has to be a fantastic way to light up your pain cave.
Oh, it's brilliant. That is absolutely fabulous. We were talking on the Echelon Racing League yesterday because one of the riders there had the baubles and multicoloured lights in the pain cave, but flashing lights all over the bike, that is something else. Well, the downtown sprint Monica Rona, category 1, setting the fastest time for the Festive Fighters, 21 seconds, 0.467. Jessica Hamilton, whoa, she's desperately tried, but she still finishes in the top 2 from category 4. She really is pushing on in those sprints.
Now, going back to the climb, the Aquarian climb, category 3 are over the top. Just kept a quick check on there. 9 riders going over together at the top of that climb. But within about 30 seconds, 22 riders in total going over. So there's a big chasing group coming behind. They're all chasing. We're through the sprint, through the downtown sprint, but they are all headed into the Aquarian climb, then into the big climb at the finish. The Yebel Her Feet are category 1 riders. Well, that polka dot banner is just around the corner. That will indicate to them that they are coming on to that climb, which should be decisive. Small group in category 4. 10 riders, small group. In category 3, 9 riders. Category 2 and category 1, well, category 2 to hit the top of the slopes, category 1 to hit the bottom of the slope.
Oh, they are indeed, and they are coming in at 9.3 kilometres. They're coming towards the base of the climb. That's the polka dot banner in front of them, signifying the base of the climb. Another one at the top, so they know when they've gone through the top part of the segment, because you wouldn't want to miss it. Norden, Columbi, Menendez, Van Hove, Hermansen, Fua, all in the mix now. Lisa Hermansen took the win yesterday on the Echelon Racing League in the elite women's race. That was another cracker. And of course, you can find that on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. You can find it on the Echelon Racing channel. You can find it even on Facebook. It's all over the world for you to watch. And Jacinia Menendez, I tell you something, she's got good form on this course as well. Right the way back in January 2024, the first time we were on the Yebel Her Feet was qualifier 2 in January. Bassoni took the win then with Bates, Fleur, Menendez and Coinston. She was part of that top 5, and I think she'll be wanting to round off the year as part of the top 5 as well.
It's not all that long ago that it certainly feels not all that long ago that we seem to spend sort of half of our racing up the Yebel Her Feet.
Or the Yebel Yace.
Or well, yes, if you put the 2, it was probably 3 out of 4 races, and then we'd have the old flat one. I have to say, there's a real mix of courses now, and a real range of riders can score. And you've got to now have there's always a course where somewhere on the course you can really accelerate, you can really work hard. There's somewhere on the course that suits you. Somebody like Celine Columbi, who we know is a great all-round rider. She's good when it goes uphill as well. A long climb where she can get in a rhythm, I think, suits Columbi.
Oh, I agree with you completely, and this will really suit Columbi today, this course. And one of the other riders I'm keeping my eye on, well, there's a number of them actually, but Francesca Tomasi has come into the Sunday Race Club fairly recently, and she's been getting better and better and better. She had a 4th place this month. One of the other riders that's interesting to watch, Kristen Kolchinsky, didn't race the Echelon Racing League yesterday. I think she's saving herself because this could suit her really, really well, and I think she'll want to go well and target this today. Cornelia Engström is always strong, part and parcel of the Swedish contingent at the World Championships this year. She's a phenomenal rider and racer.
She is indeed a real inspiration to lots of riders. So category 1 on the lower slopes, making the way up from the base of the climb. Category 2 just coming up to the top of the climb. The banner just over the top and actually slightly into the descent. So you have to come out of the tunnel into the oasis at the top. As you can see, we're about to hit some daylight as we come out from the tunnel. It's then going to start rolling down around this elevated bridge, this elevated roadway. This is a big group about to hit the banner to signify the finish of the climb. This will be really key. This is not 9. This is not 10 riders. This It's going to be, we're going to come wait for it to update,
27.
27
I
riders.
told you category 2 was going to be close today.
Close. This is incredibly close. I mean, we have seen a selection, so we have seen riders being distanced. Let's not underestimate the effort required to get to the top in that group. It's just that so many riders are so close in ability level.
They are really well packed. And I mean, NyQuest, you can just see us sitting up there and refueling, timely fueling strategies here on the Sunday Race Club. But NyQuest, part and parcel of the bunch, sitting in here, Bulwara Alzat, Andrea and Carolina. Lam Kong is in here, Giovanni, NyQuest, Vittori Svardström, Manshandi is here as well. It's going to be a close category 2 race, I think, today.
Yes. Maybe until we hit the slopes of the Hafit and we hit
I still
profile.
think it could be a real battle in this race, on the Jebel Hafit as well.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Are we going to see a selection being made? Because we've got such a big group coming over the top here, the opportunities to break this up are going to be really key. The next real key opportunity is going to be the acceleration out. So we drop down, we go along the flat, and then we climb out. That could be one of the key
Let
moments.
me just tell you, when we were here on the Jebel Hafit in October, in category 2, Prado, Larson, Filensky, Giovanni, and Harmsen were the top 5. But in the team competition, the Globetrotters took it from the Velocity Vikings by 0.487 of a second. It was the smallest team win, the closest team competition this year in the men's and the women's race, and it has remained so until today, and it could well be the record setter of 2024, depending upon what happens in category 2 today.
So we will have to see how close that team competition is. As category 2 go over the top of the aquarium, climbing into that descent. Category 3 are on the climb out from the base of the descent, from that drop down. They're about to hit the level that contains the Silent Dune sprint. If they will climb after this as well, and you can see that leveling off on the top right-hand side of the race screen, because you can see there's the level in the second part of the kicker. It's shorter, but it is steep. One rider who we know is riding really well because she's right on the front of this bunch, Angelica Alta Marino, rider on the left-hand side, Avatar on the right-hand side, looking super smooth at the moment and really tapping out a great rhythm. It is fracturing this group.
Yeah, well, she's had a 3rd and a 4th place this month, and as part and parcel of that Cool Smashers squad, she could be on the front here under team instructions, because Elos, Hyde, Altamarino, Simkin and Bonilla are the Cool Smashers, and they are, I would say, in the mix for the team win today. And the question is, which ones of those team players do you put on the front and make work for the squad, and what are the tactics there today at play in category 3?
So team tactics in category 3 up for grabs. We can see what's going to happen in category 1 as well. We've lost riders off the back on this climb. This is going to be a reduced group that comes through. It's still a big group. I don't think it's quite as big as the category 2 group of 27 riders. But as we come up over the top, now is the time to get on. One rider just being distanced a little bit here. The pack will pick up pace. If you don't get on quick, you're going to be in trouble because it's going to pick up speed. You can see that distance opening up as the leading group accelerates, goes through that banner. This is going to be critical. Who is going to be able to stay with the leading group? It is going to be tough stuff. I think that's a big group going through there. Emma, I make that 25 riders with, I think, 2 or 3 riders off the back.
It is indeed 25 riders. And McCarthy setting the fastest time. Guerra, Kalman, Fua, Engstrom, Menenzes, Bruni, Larson, Filensky and Dryhoven rounding out the top 10. But the other riders in that pack, Nordin, Velt, Bjarhead, Hermansen, Van Shore, Tomasi, Bassoni, Van Hove, Columbi, Sidlick, Penner, Soderstrom, Kolczynski and Holdcroft. Kolkowitz is there, and Meg Stevens is the rider just distance off the back. She's the one that's going to have to squeeze on to the back wheel, and it's McCarthy's wheel. She's 3 seconds down. Eck and Koinstonen and Rona, the 3 riders dropped off of the group.
Now, Stevens making her way on. I'm sure her teammates in her squad, the purebred daisies, apart from having one of the best names going in the team names, Valensky, Dijhoven, Eck, and Penner won't be pushing on the front. They'll want to get Stevens back into the mix here to give them some assistance on the rest of this race route. Stevens continuing to push at just under 5 watts per kilo, hoping that she can just get into this draft at nearly 400 watts, 386. I saw just peaking just as it came on our screens. Big push here by Stevens. She's going to make contact. Just losing contact at the top of the climb. She's going to be the last of this group. It will mean that this group of 25 will become 26, and that means that's a lot of riders, a very similar number to Category 2 now, but they're going to come down along the flat and then into the next climb. It's not a categorized climb, it's a climb up through the Silent Dune Sprint. We've got a long run then to the Al Ain Sprint, which is just before the legendary Jebel Hafit.
Well, it is indeed just before the Jebel Hafit, and that comes at 25.4 kilometres to this race. In fact, from the top of the aquarium climb to the bottom of the Jebel Hafit, 12.4 kilometres that run.
You can tell Emma does the maths. I couldn't have done that in my head. It wasn't going to happen. Either that or Emma's already done it and written it down. But she's on the other side of the studio here. We're here each and every Sunday for the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. You can follow Emma. It's at biking_Emma. You can follow me at Matt Fixer Paint. I can put my teeth back in every now and then. They are all mine, I have to say. Just a little loose from all the crashes on the bike over the years, but they're still all there. So do give us a follow. Make sure you follow at my_whoosh on X, at MyWhoosh on Facebook and on Instagram. Make sure you jump on board. Give us a follow. Give MyWhoosh a follow. And follow the riders as well. These riders, so many of these riders do rely on the support of you on social media across on the channels, whether they're sponsored riders, whether they're supported by the local bike shop, a local business. The more you support them, the more you can raise their profile, the better it is for them. And of course, the better it is for esports in general. It's great to see so many riders here on the Sunday Race Club. So many new viewers over the last year. Obviously, with the inclusion of the UCI World Championships, the Cycling Esports World Championships, where we were live for the finals, and of course all the broadcasts going out on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. That really did give a big kick in terms of exposure, in terms of bringing new riders, new people into esports. And if you're one of those riders, let us know how you've got on. I hope you've jumped on to MyWhoosh. The latest update out is the 3.9 point something or other at the end of it. So make sure you download the latest. Yeah, because they update so quick. I mean, it's one of the great things. It's one of the things that really does set MyWhoosh apart, because it updates. There's so much improvement, and we've seen so much improvement over the last year. It's incredible. It's probably only matched just by the infrastructure and building within the UAE as a whole, from next to nowhere in 53 years ago when the nation was formed, to where it is now, which is world leading with just setting a new fireworks record as well.
I can tell you Category 2 are pushing on here. This is the climb after the aquarium climb descent, and look what it's doing to the group. We had 27 riders in this leading group in Category 2, and they are pushing on, and it's Paulson setting the pace on the front with Giannatti, Jaramillo, Prado, Svodstrom, Vittori and Giovanni, and they are really pushing here. It's doing damage to the back of the group. It's looking like we've lost 1, 2, 3 riders so far, and while they're now coming towards the platform at the top before they begin the descent, I think we're going to have seen maybe 3 or 4 riders drop off the back of that group. So interesting to see. It's the pushes on the front, not putting the riders away, but putting the riders on the back in trouble.
This climb, this second step to this rise up, really do damage, because I think it's just that mixture when you race and you're riding, you're on your limit, you're pushing as hard as you can on the on the longer, lower section, it then levels and your legs sort of go, oh, it's okay, I can just relax a bit. And then it kicks again. And that's enough to really put you, that can just take you the straw that broke the camel's back, to use that old analogy. It really is that last little thing that's just a step too far. Now, category 2 are over the top of that step. We've got category 1 racing on the lower slopes. This is looking pretty brutal. There's some chevrons already.
Well, there are indeed. And what's really telling actually is the pace category 1 are pushing at and the steady state of category 2, because there was around 2.5 kilometres difference in distance between these two packs when category 1 came out of the pen, and it is coming down dramatically. It's now at 2k already, so category 1 pack rolling strongly as they come into this small climb. In fact, they're going to start sweeping up the back of the category 2 race field as Biarhead, McCarthy, Bassoni, Kolchinsky, Larson and Menenzes lead the charge in this group.
And positioning is going to be really, really key. One rider, I think, has been dispatched off the back. Is it Stevens who's gone? If you get distance on the aquarium climb, there's not a lot of recovery time to get down to the bottom if you've gone in the red, if you've really fought on that climb. But it could be somebody else who has gone. This is the way of esports racing, that you will see riders go. You'll know they've gone off the back. So much information available. Can you get too much information? I think it's very difficult, because what you want to know is who's where, who of your teammates are in there, who is riding where, and the riders' communication in the teams really, really critical. So left-hand side of your screen, category 1, right-hand side of your screen, just in with Barbara Ballara of category 2, and it looks like the lead in the group just starting to distance Ballara as they go over the top and into the next section. It's a long way from this sprint and from the top of this climb to the start of the Jebel Hafid to ride solo, because it's all flat. It's pretty fast. So the more draft you can get, the better.
Well, and the less energy you will expend, which is key on the run in to the Jebel Hafid. And this pack of category 1 riders wide across the road, because they are all at the same pace. So Penner, Dijhoven, McCarthy, Kolkowitz is in here as well. Tomasi, Bassoni, Columbi, 3 Italian riders in this group as they continue to move through the Silent Dune sprint area. And you can see Jessica Hamilton from category 4 doing the business again in those sprints. She really is targeting them today. 29.207 to take number 1 spot on the Silent Dune sprint. Tiffany Penner coming through with the fastest time in the category 1 pack. Stephanie Sidlick there as well. Then Lorena Beltram and Julia Montgomery. First time we've seen category 2 riders in the top 10. Julia Walkenhurst is there as well in 8th place. The rest of the top 10 rounded out by category 1 riders, as you can see.
I was just keeping an eye on the riders going through there. I think it may be Megan Stevens that's been distanced once again. Just need to keep a check on that as we make our way up on to the climb. We're going to take a look in at some of our riders in their pain caves, and just in with Barbara Ballara at the moment. Just staying focused now, has to sit into a rhythm. If you're Ballara, would you be waiting for anybody to come along, or would you just be sitting and tapping a rhythm here? Because at 20k, moving through nicely, it's 5k to the base of the climb.
I think this is all about riding your own pace at this point and settling into a rhythm and riding to the finish. And I think that's what Ballara, it looks as though she is doing. She look at concentration on her face. She knows what she's doing. She's got a plan and she's executing it.
There we go. I wouldn't disagree with any of that. I think that certainly summed it up very nicely indeed. Here we go. On to the climb. This is the final climb of the day. It could be a race in its own right if you wanted to do it as a hill climb. It is that big, it's that long, and it is that tough. Category 4 go on to the slopes of the Jebel Hafid. This first kicker is steep. This is often where we see very quick selections being made. You've got to be on the front. If a gap goes, you've got to close it down fast, because we have this little flattening off section that comes quite quickly. The leaders can open a gap because they go over onto the flat before you get up the steep section, if that gap is big enough. And that means you're going slowly as they're accelerating on the faster sections. At the moment, Wilhelm leading from Corrales, Goodall, Idzik, Francis, Elza and Warren. These This is tough because this is breaking, Emma. You've got to be in this mix here because if you're not now, you're going to struggle later.
Well, Natalia Idzik is on our screen, and you can see the look of concentration on her face and the cadence because she really wants to be in the mix here. She doesn't want to get dropped at this point on the early slopes of the Feet, but this is steep. It's 10.5% at the moment, and you can see that graphic. It kicks up and then it flattens, and this is a nasty, nasty start to this climb. And Wilhelm Corrales, Goodall, Francis Idzik, Alzat, Warren are all battling to stay together at the moment on the early slopes of the Jebel Hafit. And I can tell you something, the Category 3 women are not far behind. The leaders in that Category 3 competition are coming, and these Category 4 riders will want to stay clear as long as possible. Idzik pushing on to close down that gap, and well, there you can see this is the front of the Category 3 group. Novelinka Conan, the rider that we're in with at the moment, she's a strong rider. She's been around the Sunday Race Cup a long, long time. And she's in this leading group as they see the polka dot banner signifying the start of the Jebel Hafit. Just a reminder, it's a 9.5 kilometre climb with an average gradient of 7.6%. There are some very steep sections on it, topping 13%. But there are often respites as well because it is quite a stepped climb.
And those steps critical if you need to take a break, if you need to get some recovery done. But if you are on form and flying, that's where you can accelerate and put in some real big pushes to try and break that up. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see that blue set of discs coming onto the climb. They have a set of dot-to-dot in front in terms of red discs, each representing riders or groups on the way up the climb. It's relatively straight to start off with. We've got some big twists and turns, some hairpin bends, replicating the road in the United Arab Emirates, heading across from Al Ain from the World Heritage Site on to the top of this legendary climb used by the UAE Tour in the men's and women's races. They race up to the top of the Hafit regularly on that race. We do the same here on the Sunday Race Club and being saved for a finale for the year end as well. Category 3, the group's starting to break now. You can see those riders on the front, 4 riders just starting to try and push clear. 5 riders, in fact, because you've got Gina van Rossum in there in that polka dot skin suit. As they make their way up, Desegna now just fighting for the wheels. She needs to hold on here. So does Tanya Howeiler, because they're going to come over this kicker and it's going to level just a little bit. Chance for a bit of respite or chance to chase?
No, I think we're going to see 9 riders pushing clear at the moment as we see another push on the front, actually, of this Category 3 pack. The respite is coming. The gradient is rapidly dropping at the moment, and you can see that as well because how the bunch is responding. The bunch all coming together as the gradient comes down. Well, can Holweiler get in? I think it's Holweiler in the green. No, it's Valentina Desegna in the green skin suit. She's now coming onto brilliant riding. Desegna has been putting in a brilliant job today, to race yesterday and then to come into this pack. And she's still here at the moment. She's in the green skin suit. Gemma Daniels is the rider coming back onto the pack. In fact, she's going to help Desegna into the group because she's going to give her a toe in. There it is. The group is back together. Claudia Hyde is the rider off the back now, and it's going to be interesting to see. But this pack now nice and tight and regrouped, and just in time because the climb is going to start in earnest again.
You get that little break and then it goes again. I was just working my way through the sheets and it looks like pretty much most of the teams represented in this leading group at the moment. Of course, Smashers had Nelos in there. Free Willing Spirits got Segna, Gear Goddesses with Van Rossum and Highborg. Grandma Gears to Silver in there. Hadlock in there. We've got Conan in there. They've got La Rosa Blanca, Tacona, some Vasquez. Pedal Power got Vanilla in there. It really is a packed field of riders representing multiple teams. So this team competition is wide open at the moment, and it's 3 riders' times added together, your fastest 3 riders' times added together, that gives you your team time. So it's really critical what rider number 3 does. 1, 2, and 3 equally as important, particularly when it's close.
Yes.
Good.
The Category 2 pack now coming into the base of the Jebel Hafit. And this is a strong group as well. Now, we had 27 riders in the group when we counted them through at the end of the aquarium climb. There's not 27 riders here now, but it's not far off. Esler, Ulberg, Sanchez, Lundin, Manshandi Jaramillo is in here as well. Giovanni, all in the mix. Sarah London, there we go, dropping into her pain cave. She's ready to go underneath the polka dot banner. She's ready for the climb, and the climb is coming. There's a push on the front of the group already. That's keen because there's 9.5 kilometres of climbing, 10 kilometres of climbing to go. It's German Prado. I don't know why I was surprised. Van der Vie is one of the riders pushing on here as well. Now, she's going to be an interesting rider, I think, moving forward. I'm just doing a double check. I don't think she has had a top 5 yet, and I'm going to say yet because she has really come into the Sunday Race Club recently, and she's really not afraid to take it by the scruff of the neck and give it a really good go, and I think she'll be rewarded at some point. But the pack is moving now. Prado, Jaramillo, Svardstrom, Marb, it's Manshandi on the front with Giovanni. I am not surprised. Those two are phenomenal climbers. Amanda Poulsen, the Danish rider, also in the mix. Could be a good day for her as well.
And pretty much every single team represented in the mix at the moment on the lower slopes of the Jebel Hafit. This is going to be key. Who can break clear? Who can open the gap? Who can get this split? Who can drop some of the other teams here whilst protecting their own teammate? Communication at this stage, absolutely key. No point smashing it to pieces if you smash your third rider off the back of the group, unless you know that you can put a big enough time gap in. You need to work and be smart about this. As you say, some really interesting riders. Dana Mashandi, this climb is a really strong rider. Prado, though, multi-timer national champion in multiple disciplines, absolutely flying and on the front. I think she means business today.
Well, Manshandi has been dropping into some of my live coaching sessions.
Has she?
I love to see the
Excellent.
Sunday Race Club riders drop in. It's fabulous to see them, and she has indeed been dropping into one or two of those during the weeks. But at the moment, it's Prado doing the work on the front, Poulsen, Giovanni. They're all pushing together at the moment because the gradient is a little shallower before it starts to kick again. But the stretch on the Category 2 group, now my favourite graphic is really coming into play here, because on the bottom left-hand corner, Matt over the other side of the studio knew exactly what I was going to say. On the bottom left-hand corner of the race graphic, the race screen, you can now see the climb. You can see Category 4, Category 3 and Category 2 all on that climb, and you can see them working through and progressing on the slopes. Category 4, the first race out the start pen today, 5 minutes before Category 3, 10 minutes before Category 2 and 15 minutes before Category 1. The riders now all starting to come together on the Jebel Hafit. Category 1, well, they are about to come in to the base of the Jebel Hafit as well. That's a big pack of, 25 riders, I think, are still in that pack, because we lost Megan Stevens from the group. But we are about to have all 4 race fields on the same climb.
It's a long one. It's a big one. It's the final climb of 2024 for our Women's Sunday Race Club races. It's the monthly final in December. Remember, top 5 riders today in each of our race categories when they cross the line. The top 5 teams today going to be rewarded as they finish off 2024. As we move into 2025, it will be 10 riders in each race category getting prizes and 7 teams taking away prizes in 2025. 5 riders, 5 teams today. However, 2025, 7 teams and 10 riders. And that applies to the team competition at the end of the month. And, of course, the individual prizes which run through the qualifiers and the finals.
Well, I'll tell you something at the moment. The push is on here. McCarthy, Guerra, Van Shaw, Larson, all in the mix here. Menendez, Columbi, Fua, Biarhead, they're all in this leading group. And the front and the head of the race field absolutely packed together at the moment. They're on the steep sections at the moment. It's 12%. It is going to give some respite shortly, but they're not on the flatter sections yet. This is a huge kicker at the moment. And there must be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 riders in that leading group as they push up the early slopes of the Jebel Hafit. We're in with Catherine Fuhr. Look at that look of concentration. The cadence is strong, 95 revs a minute at the moment off of Fuhr. And I'll tell you something, the Swiss rider is no slouch when it comes to climbing. Well, she can't be. She lives in Switzerland. There's a lot of mountains.
I was going to say, there's not a lot of flat roads.
She rides mountains for fun.
There's a little bit of flat around the lakes, and that's about it, up the valleys, and the rest of it is big, it's steep, it's absolutely stunning. However, my goodness, you need to be able to climb and to be able to climb long climbs as well, not just short sprints. Fuhr, very much a dab hand at this. I dread to think how many times Catherine Fuhr has raced to the top of the Jebel Hafit over her time on the Sunday race club. She knows this climb inside out, was out and riding. And I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, did Catherine Fuhr not go ride the Jebel Hafit when she was in the UAE after the finals of the esports world championships? I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure she went and rode. Emma's probably searching through right now to find out. So the group's starting to split and break. 10 riders going clear. The pressure on the front coming. And at the moment, this is going to be critical. Hold those wheels. Don't let them go. You can't afford to. Amelia Van Hove at the moment on the wrong side of that gap with Holcroft, Valensky, Bassoni and Velt. They're the riders being distanced at the moment. Bjarhead in front is in the danger zone. You can see those blue wheels lit up. That is the target for these riders to come back. To Massey on the back of the group as well, just in front of these riders in the danger zone, about to be distanced if she can't squeeze on because the pressure has come on the front. We're in with Bjarhead, then it's to Massey. They're coming and closing in on riders. Amy Subadeo, just going to see the riders coming past Amy in category 3. In category 4, get a real grandstand view of the leaders as they come past. Guerra in this mix, McCarthy and Bruni, the top 3 on the slopes at the moment, are breaking clear. It's Guerra, McCarthy, Bruni. They are opening the gaps at the moment. Can they continue to push? McCarthy has exchanged her UCI World Championship jersey for the polka dot skin suit of the fastest climber, and that was taken on the Aquarium climb. Will she add to that at the top of this climb? 3 riders clear, chasing group of 5 in category 1 on the left of your screen. Right-hand side of your screen, it's category 3.
It is indeed on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 3 is still a big pack. You know, they're 3 kilometers into the climb, and look at the size of the group. Well, they are also about to come up onto the leader on the road at the moment, the leader in the category 4 race, because this pack of category 3 riders have nearly worked their way through the entire category 4 race field. Just Maria Wilhelm on the right hand side of your screen, clear at the moment. She's 20 seconds up the road from the charge that is the head of the category 3 race.
Just loving the fact that there is just this little gap. Angel Hadlock trying to chase down on the front of category 3. You can see them behind here. Wilhelm continues to push on the right-hand side of your screen. You've got the 2 views. You're looking back on the right. You're looking up on the left and forward. And the gap is coming down. Category 3 are on a mission at the moment. 11 riders, Emma. No way.
11 riders still in that leading group in category 3. I mean, I know we talk about category 3 being really, really well matched, but that is just phenomenal.
It's ridiculous. I'm going to use the word ridiculous. It's crazy. It's so close. What a battle. And Maria Wilhelm at the moment, big special mention, on the move off the front, has got the gap, continuing to push here. She's going to get this group come through. And this is where I would just be easing, taking a little bit more of a breath here with the hope that I could just squeeze on. There is a little flat section coming. It's short. I know that there's a big differential here in terms of the power, and she's not going to hold to the top. However, every little bit counts in getting that gap over the chasers in category 4 and extending that lead. Because it's a team competition, time is going to be really, really critical. And the more that Wilhelm can put in for that Phoenix squad, the more time she can put between her and the rest of the riders behind, the bigger that time gap, the more cushion that team has got, so that the second and third counter can come in and score big.
Interesting, isn't it? Because she is pushing on and pushing on very, very strongly. Part and parcel of that Phoenix squad. Really interesting to see how she's pushing on and working today.
She's clear at the front. She's got the chasers coming behind. That's the category 3 riders there on the right-hand side of your screen. Left-hand side of your screen, Sophie Giovanni has ignited the burners. She's gone off the front of the group. She's got Amanda Paulson chasing for company. It is, wait for this, 11 seconds back to Jermaine Prado and 24 to Anna Svarstrom. So Sophie Giovanni has thrown down the dice. She's rolled them. Will she come up with a winning score here? This is looking good at the moment for Giovanni and for Paulson in category 2. They've got the gap opened up. They represent 2 different teams, though. Paulson riding for the E-Crew squad and Giovanni for the Globetrotters.
Well, they are right on the back wheel of Wilhelm, and Wilhelm is only going to be the head of this race for a short period of time now. The question is, how long can she stay in there? But it's not necessarily that. It's about if she stays in there too long, will her legs blow? And then will the riders behind chase? Because if you look on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you can see where the rest of the Category 4 race field are. And there is a gap, but there is a big group of riders all around the same place back down the mountain. And there's still over 5 kilometres of racing to go, and anything can happen. Gina Van Rossum knows that anything can happen, particularly when you're in the head of the race. 10 riders now in the leading group here in category 3. Van Rossum is one of those. Bonilla is there. So is Vasquez. So is Hadlock. So is Desenia. Valentina Desenia is having an amazing weekend. She's on form, and I'll tell you something, she must have targeted this weekend, Big Star.
Well, it's a good weekend to target, isn't it, with that Echelon Racing Race League on the Saturdays, and then the Sunday Race Club on, guess when? On a Sunday. And it is our finals. This thing now holding the back of this group in Category 3 on the right-hand side of your screen. Category 3 time up this climb, the course record of 36 minutes. It's 40 and a half minutes, in fact, for Category 4. Category 1, a phenomenal 28 minutes, the course record. Will it go today? Guerra and McCarthy with Bruni, the leading trio, are not managing to pull clear by much. It's only 7 seconds still. They broke clear early. They've held the gap at the moment. The pressure is on because they know that they've only opened 7-8 seconds. It's not broken. We've not seen it explode.
Well, I'll tell you might not have seen it explode, but they're only 500 metres back on the leaders in the Category 2 race. Well, Bruni is indeed sticking to the wheels of McCarthy and Guerra. We've seen Guerra and McCarthy battle royale over the last few weeks. And Fua has been in the mix as well. McCarthy has taken the win every time this month, but Guerra and Fua have run her close over the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks? 5 weeks, if we even go back to the November final. It's been absolutely brilliant watching the racing, and really, really is great. Merle Bruni is in the mix today because Merle Bruni, she loves this race course. In October, she finished second to McCarthy. In May, she finished second to Kolchinsky. Back in January, which is the very first time we were on this course this year, it was qualified 2 in January. It was Bassoni who took the win from Bates, Fua, Menendez and Koinstinen. So a very different mix at the beginning of 2024 that we have now. But Guerra, McCarthy and Bruni, these 3 riders are class. And I tell you something, the chase group is class as well, and they need to pay attention because the chase group will continue to push.
Now looking like Merle Bruni really starting to pay the price, trying to stay with Guerra and the leader McCarthy. Can she get back on? Here she comes, makes the junction.
Steady.
This is what she needed to do, and she goes through. She takes the momentum there. She's not going to give that away. She just puts the push back on again, and Merle Bruni could well be. Today is the day that she makes the other 2 pay for all those times they have been putting her on her. She's going to want to squeeze pushes that back behind. You can see the chasing group here. Catherine Fua in here. We've got Kolchinsky. We've also got Menezes, and we've got Colombi at the moment. And I tell you something, this is really interesting from a team point of view here, because you've got Guerra and Menezes and Kolchinsky and Colombi, 4 riders from the Thundercats, represented by Guerra up the road, and then 3 riders in the chasing group behind. Bruni and Fua. Well, you've got Bruni in the lead group and Fua in the chase group. And then you've got McCarthy, the only rider in that leading group, at the front. And I don't think any other teammates in that chase group at the moment for the Ablock International squad.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Was the Thundercats not a spin-off of a TV program?
Yes, it was. Thundercats is a very dodgy 1980s cartoon with superhero Thundercats looking like humans in spandex, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
That was the original program.
And Thundercats wasn't the cat, one of the sidekicks.
Yes.
Do you know what? We've spun down a very, very, very low rabbit
it's been bothering me. It's been bothering me for weeks, and I've not done any work on it, and it's all of a sudden come to me. But at the moment, Amanda Poulsen, look at the work Amanda Poulsen's been doing in this Category 2 race. She really is pushing on the climb. The Danish rider riding really strongly today. Poulsen really working well here. So Poulsen in the lead in Category 2 at the moment, and the chase coming from Sophie Giovanni, 20 seconds back now. Poulsen working her way through the Category 3 race field. She's about to come onto the back of a big group.
I'll tell you something, Amanda Poulsen from Denmark. Denmark is not renowned for massive mountains. It's on the coast of Scandinavia.
They're renowned for some great cycling esports races.
They're renowned for great riders, full stop, pretty much true. Across in men's, women's, mountain bike cross, in esports on the road. Amazing athletes all the way across. And I'll tell you something, Poulsen is right up there because she's putting in a ride. She's dropped Giovanni, and we know how good Giovanni is. Now back in with Category 1, Gabby Guerra, along with Kate McCarthy here. They are leading, and we're looking now for Merle Bruni. I think she's been distanced. There's one disc just showing on the left. It's not huge, is it? But what is that time gap going to be? Bruni at 9 seconds, sandwiched in between Gonzalez Rowe, who took victory yesterday, and Dana Wagner, who's actually down on the entry list
she won't be
for
starting
the cyclocross in Besançon. She could be using this as a warm-up. She's due to ride in the UCI. So after we finish here on the Sunday Race Club, I'm going on to international duty for the UCI for the cyclocross in Besançon. And Dana Wagner, who's down on the start list to ride, she's absolutely amazing. If you ride Dana, I will personally buy you an ice cream whenever I see
Dana
you.
Wagner will not be taken to the start line this afternoon. Though, let me just caveat that with she is indeed the age category Masters world champion this year in cyclocross discipline. She is no slouch, whether she's out in the mud or in her pain cave. And Dana Wagner here rider in Category 2 doing the business here, just showing you what it means to be. She's a world-class Masters racer out on the cyclocross. She's right in the mix here in Category 2, doing the business on the Sunday Race Club. She's with Vittori Gonzalez, Rua and Yaramillo. Svardström is 19 seconds clear of them up the road. The head of the Category 2 race. Well, it is fast today. Guerra and McCarthy are fast as well. They are absolutely motoring their way up the mountain at the moment. They've just passed Nyquist and Manshandi, 2 of the riders doing a really good ride in the Category 2 race. Merle Bruni now at 13 seconds. She's with that Category 2 group just in the distance. In fact, she's just heading past them. Bruni, for me, is going to set a strong tempo. She's not going to be battling anybody. She's not going to be responding to anybody. She's going to be setting her own pace now up the mountain. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
So Bruni chasing in category 1, left-hand side of your screen. Guerra and McCarthy just testing each other a little bit time and time again in front of Bruni. Right-hand side of your screen, category 3. This leading group of category 3 riders, they're the leaders on the road at 31 kilometers. They're only a couple of 100 meters up from the category 1 leaders who are chasing. Gemma Daniels leading from Angelica Alta Marino and Francisca de Silva, followed by Vasquez, Heiberg, Hadlock to Konas. That group is still a big group, but Daniels at the moment starting to stretch her legs, starting to look to try and break this group again. She knows that she is within 4 kilometers of the finishing line at the moment. Gemma Daniels with the gap. Vasquez responding, comes onto a wheel. One has become 2 at the front. Can Vasquez hold it though? She's digging deep. High ball behind, trying to bridge across as well. It's 2 seconds. So another push on the very front of the race in category 3. They've got the category 2 leaders behind. The category 1 leaders have overtaken the category 4 leaders, but all of our leading groups within about 700 meters of each other.
Well, Wilhelm still on the front of that category 4 race, sees the category 1 riders go past. She's putting in a storming ride today. That's Maria Wilhelm in category 4, part and parcel of that Phoenix squad. Category 3 are still at the head of the race, but Amanda Paulson leading the category 2 race is coming, and McCarthy and Guerra leading the category 1 race are not far behind. Daniels and Vasquez continue to push. Amanda Paulson, she's in 10th place on the road at the moment. 9 category 3 riders ahead of her. There they are. Do you know, Paulson keeps pushing. She is not at all afraid of pushing hard on the mountain. She wants the head of this race before McCarthy and Guerra get there.
And she can get her timing right. This is going to really, really help that E-Crew squad of Davidson, Gonzalez, Ruiz, Walkenhurst, Dega Mashandi, because they are right up in the mix. This could be the ride that sets them up for the team win here by Paulson. This is phenomenal riding by her. This is really, really strong. And I'll tell you something, if you're going to get your timing right, if you're going to put down an absolutely first-class performance, you do it in the finals. And she's doing that in style. She's coming onto the chasing group of category 3 riders. 2 riders up the road at the moment, leading. Behind Paulson, the category 1 leaders are coming, and they are coming quick. Guerra and McCarthy still locked together, about 15 seconds down on Paulson at the moment.
Well, they are indeed, but Paulson is doing a sterling job today. Absolutely class riding from her. Gemma Daniels and Manuela Vasquez are leading the category 3 race. They are up the road, 6 seconds clear of the chasing group. De Silva, Heiberg, Altamarina and Takanis, all part and parcel of that chasing category 3 group, are now working so hard to stay on the back of Amanda Paulson and get a toe up to the 2 at the top. Kim Bonilla is on the back of the group. She's going to be the first rider to see Guerra and McCarthy. Can Paulson make the head of the race before Guerra and McCarthy go past her? Come on! I am rooting for Amanda Paulson at the moment as she continues to tap on those pedals. She's 2 seconds back from Daniels and Vasquez. Oh, it's going to be so close, but she seriously deserves the head of the race, even if it's just for a couple of seconds.
So at the moment, the race lead with Gemma Daniels and Manuela Vasquez of category 3, Amanda Paulson of category 2 closing in on the wheels behind her. Guerra McCarthy of category 1 chasing at speed. Can Paulson make this? There's probably no chance of her leading over the top because the pace of Guerra McCarthy is so strong, but I've just seen them drop down to 2.5 watts per kilo, taking a bit of a break simultaneously there as they came over the crest and onto this little descent. You can see the group coming behind these 3, and here comes the polka dot jersey of McCarthy and the yellow jersey of Guerra. Come on, Amanda Paulson, come on. Will she kick with them? Look at the speed of McCarthy.
I'm not joking. McCarthy and Guerra are 10 watts per kilo. Guerra is at the moment. This is the attack. This is the moment where they want to push. They've gone straight over the top. So McCarthy kicked, Guerra kicked. I saw 11 watts per kilo at one point. This was a sprint on the mountainside between Guerra and McCarthy. They are battling. They're back to around 5 to 6 watts per kilo. These 2 women, first and second in the World Championships back in October have kept their form to the end of the year, and they have done nothing but race each other and provide what is world class cycling racing every week. And Merle Bruni in third place behind, tapping away on those pedals. She's only 100 metres back. Bruni doing a sterling job today, sitting in third, just not able to go with McCarthy and Guerra when that race hotted up.
It did indeed heat up. It was a gap that opened. Now, another push from McCarthy. Just went at 8 watts per kilo. Guerra's answered. It's 8.9 from McCarthy. She's seen that there's a little bit of a gap opening here. Is this a decisive moment? McCarthy has got it. She has been answered by Guerra twice. Is this the last time that McCarthy needs to push to get the gap? But look at Guerra coming. Guerra is responding here. This gap is not going anywhere at the moment. Guerra has to dig deep. She knows that she has got 2.3k to the summit. And look at Guerra in person on the left-hand side of your screen. What focus. She knows where that back wheel is. She knows that she needs to just keep it close and then to push to get onto the wheels. McCarthy tapping out 7.5 watts per kilo. Guerra at the moment sitting at the 6 watts per kilo. The gap at 3, now 4 seconds. What can Guerra do? Time will run out for her to come back. She doesn't want to let the gap go. McCarthy, another 8 watt per kilo kick round this hairpin right-hand turn. It's a longer left. Titans, this is brutal.
I am watching these riders' heart rates, knowing where they normally sit. These two racers are absolutely on the limit. They are pushing themselves so hard to do this. And Guerra at 5 watts per kilo, McCarthy at 6.5, 6.7. McCarthy is currently riding away from Gabby Guerra on the mountainside with 2 kilometers to go.
This left-hand turn around in front of the big white marble edifice in front is going to be really key here. You can see this left-hand turn. McCarthy pushing now. Can one of them push the other into the red zone too far? Are they going to break each other here? And for Guerra, that's probably the only chance she's got now. That gap has opened up to 18 seconds. Guerra has capitulated and McCarthy has got the gap. Guerra cannot relax because behind is Merle Bruni. Bruni has been sitting at steady rhythm. She has been able to ride her own pace. She's not had to dig as deep into those red zones to answer attacks or to try and attack McCarthy. McCarthy, though, again, another push here at nearly 7 watts per kilo. So McCarthy in 1, Guerra in 2, Bruni in 3. Then we've got Catherine Fua, who has broken clear of the group behind.
Yeah, she has.
So Fua at the moment is sitting in what is 4th position.
Kolchinsky in 5th.
Now, Fua and Bruni are teammates on the Sweat Sensation squad. Sorry, in 5th was
Kolchinsky.
So Kolchinsky is for the Thundercats, who is a teammate of Guerra. Colombia's not that far down the mountainside behind either. This team competition is still going to be wide open. It's going to be what the third rider can do, I think.
And it's about time. Let's just remind our viewers. So this is about the time. The first 3 riders across the line from each team, their time is added together, and that is what gives you the team competition. So for each of these riders, they will not give up until they cross the finish line, even if they are clear of the rider behind them, because the time counts in that team competition, and every second, I can tell you, makes a difference.
You can see the distances between our top 4 riders in Category 1 on your screen. 33.7 now 8k cover for Mary Kate McCarthy. Gabby Guerra 33.5, 33.3 for Merle Bruni, 33.1 for Catherine Fua. Basically a couple of 100 metres separating each of our riders in the top 4. Category 3 race, Gemma Daniel and Manuela Vasquez, both still locked together. They're 5th and 6th on the road at the moment. Behind, Desegna has been distanced, but not by much. We are talking 7 seconds separating the leading 2 riders in Category 3, and this is going to be super, super close. Let's see where they're going to be. This is going to be absolutely critical. Wow, what a race.
It is indeed a race, and it is a absolutely phenomenal finale to 2024. McCarthy now 28 seconds clear of Guerra, but I tell you something, Guerra is coming, and Guerra's not given up on this charge yet. Bruni a little further back down the mountain. Amanda Poulsen now clear in category 2. She's currently sat 4th on the road. She's sandwiched between Bruni and Fua. Fua 4th in the category 1 race. Manuela Vasquez and Gemma Daniels tied together at the moment, leading that category 3 race. So on your screen on the right hand side, you can see the leaders in category 1, the leader in category 2, the leaders in category 3, as Mary Kate McCarthy comes underneath the polka dot banner, signifying the end of the Yebel Hafit climb. Oh, she's 30 seconds clear of Guerra. She's got 500 meters to the finish line. On the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you can see the yellow banner on the screen ahead around that long sweeping right-hand bend. That's the run to the UCI finish line, and it's Kate McCarthy, the world champion, at the head of the race.
Well, what a way to round out your year. Mary Kate McCarthy has had a phenomenal time racing on the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. She has been dominant into the second half of the year. Once she got herself sorted, she knew what to do. She's riding strongly all the way through the back end of the season. She came in to the World Championships on form. She showed that she could beat the rest of the world at the first of the MyWhoosh UCI World Championships for 2024. We're going to go into 2025 with Mary Kate McCarthy taking the last victory this year. It's the world champion, Mary Kate McCarthy of New Zealand, who comes through, takes victory in the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club monthly final for December. What a ride by the world champion, your race winner.
Well, McCarthy comes over the line. Guerra sees the finish line ahead of her. She's going to take second place today in the category 1 women's race. She raced her heart out against McCarthy yet again on the Yebel Hafit. That's the banner. That's Gabby Guerra, second place today to round out the finale for December.
2 riders home. Our third rider on the road is Merle Bruni. Here comes Bruni. Bruni racing hard to that line. She knows that every second is going to count. She's got a teammate, Catherine Fua, behind her. She's the nearest rider to her, but she knows that she has to get as many seconds in the bank as possible for that Thundercats team. Can she be that superhero of the day today? Is she going to be the rider who's going to make it in? We're going to see that big push come in. So it's the Sweat Sensations rider, Merle Bruni, pushing for the line. The UCI banner is in front. It's a third place here today. It's going to come her way, but this is going to count. Every second goes past. It's going to be in the bank for Guerra. It's going to be in the bank for McCarthy. Bruni comes to the line. Third place today in our monthly final.
Well, Bruni comes through for third. Amanda Poulsen is pushing on here. She's leading the category 2 race, and she's done a phenomenal job, the Danish rider Poulsen, in the category 2 race. She's ridden clear of the race field, and let me just put this to you. 25 riders went into the base of the climb together in category 2, and Poulsen has risen to the top at the 4 of the race. The Danish rider Amanda Poulsen is going to take the win in category 2 today, rounding out the end of 2024 in style.
So this is going to be the first win for Amanda Poulsen on the Sunday Race Club. What a way to take the victory at the top of the Yebel Hafit. She comes in and through the line ahead of Catherine Fua. Fua is going to come through. She's going to tick in. That timer stops, the clock stops, and the team competition mass starts as we start to work out who's where behind. Kristen Kolczynski on a good ride, coming back to form.
She is indeed. So Kolczynski comes up and underneath the line. Quickly coming behind is Columbi and Tomasi. So the riders absolutely now dialing this in the category 1 race. Celine Columbi absolutely battling with Tomasi here, but it's going to be Columbi who comes along across the line in 6th place. Tomasi's going to take 7th in the Category 1 race, and then the race is on behind in the Category 3 race because we've got 3 riders coming in fast. It's Gemma Daniels who's pushed on Manuela Vasquez, but Gemma Daniels is going to take the win in Category 3. Manuela Vasquez is going to take 2nd place, and Valentina De Sena 3rd. Maria Holdcroft comes over the line as well. It is fast and furious. Prado, Giovanni and Marb battling for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in Category 2. I hope you're keeping up because Amelia Van Hove is going to be next. She is going to be in that Category 1 race as well.
Time to draw a quick breath. Right, you see the individuals on your screen. McCarthy from Guerra, Bruni, Fua, Kulczynski, Columbi, Tomasi and Holcroft. The team competition. We have our first team winners. They are the Thundercats from Category 1. Gabby Guerra, Kristen Kulczynski and Celine Columbi. Remember, all these results live and are provisional, dependent on verification. So let's see how this runs as they move on through. Now, Paulson taking the win in Category 2. We saw her absolutely flying.
Yep, Sophie Giovanni taking 2nd place in that race. Germaine Prado taking 3rd. Maria Marb taking 4th. In the Category 3 race, it was Gemma Daniels from Manuela Vasquez, from Valentina De Sena, Larissa Heiborg and Laura Takanis rounding out that race. And the last time we saw Category 4 leader, it was Maria Wilhelm from the Phoenix squad who had the gap. It's going to be really interesting to see if she comes over the line to take that win.
Don't forget, you can catch up with all of the race results. It is on www.mywhoosh.com. Go to the results on the menu. You can scroll your way through and catch up with them as they all come in. Make sure, whilst you're online, you download the app on iOS, on Android, and on Windows so you can jump on board. Join Emma for the coaching session. She's going to be live on Monday, and that is going to be at, I think, 12:30 GMT.
Nope, 9 a.m. on Monday. GMT.
9 a.m. GMT
early
on
doors.
Monday. A very early session for Emma. Do join her on the live coaching and all those live coaches. Don't forget to join us for the men's race, which is coming up very shortly indeed. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. A massive thank you to everybody who has raced, everybody who has watched, and everybody who has made the racing happen behind the scenes at MyWhoosh. We have one more race to go. It's our men's monthly final. It's got a big bar to climb over to match the women's race. My goodness, what a finale. And it shows just how good the racing is on MyWhoosh. From me, Matt Payne, from Emma Martin, stay safe. We will see you in a few minutes for the men's race.
Goodbye.